What do you want from this life? Maybe the answer of, you want a caring partner and a good job. And a nice house, but that's really just what you want. Have in life. When asked what you want from life. Hey, I'm asking in the broadest sense. I'm not asking about those items spending that you spend when doing daily activities, which is asking about your big goals in life. In words. Other, among the things you can pursue in life, things. Which do you believe is the most valuable? Many people would find it difficult to state this goal. They know me. What do you want every minute or even every decade of your life? Their lives, but they never take the time to reflect on it. Your own great life goal. This is probably understandable. Our culture inherently discourages people from thinking about such things, which only creates distraction after distraction. Other, so that we never have to worry about them. But a great goal in life is the first constituting element of a philosophy. If you don't have a great goal in life, i.e., you don't have a coherent philosophy of life, but why is it important to have a philosophy of life? Because if not, with it, you risk living astray, no matter what you did, no matter what. All the pleasures that you enjoyed during your lifetime come back to you. Will still live a bad life. In other words, there is a risk of entry. At your deathbed, you will look back and realize that you wasted one chance to live. Instead of spending your life pursuing something really worth it, you squandered it by letting yourself be distracted. Ignoring the countless frivolous things that life brings. Now let's say you've identified a major goal in your life. And you also know clearly why this goal is worth striving for. Umbrella. So, you are still at risk of living astray. You probably won't pass. Achieve this goal, especially if there is not an effective strategy. Therefore, the second constitutive element of a philosophy of life is a strategies to achieve your great goals. This strategy will shows you what to do in everyday life. From there maximize your ability to achieve what you consider most valuable. My life. If you want to take measures to avoid wasting money, we can easily seek help from experts. Look, if you go into the phone book, you'll find countless planning experts. Certified financial planner. They can help us clarify the financial goals, for example, how much money we should save for retirement. And when we have clear goals, hey, they can advise solutions to achieve them. Similarly, suppose you want to take steps to avoid wasting. Waste not only our assets, but also our lives, we can find. Seek guidance from an expert, a philosopher of life. People, this will help us consider our goals and objectives in life. Which goal is truly worth pursuing? She will remind us that because goals can conflict with each other, we need to identify them. Which goal should be prioritized before conflict occurs? Therefore, she will help us identify and rank our goals. what I call a great goal in life is a goal. Lies at the top, it is a goal for which we should not sacrifice to achieve other goals. And after helping us choosing this goal, a philosopher of life will help us plan a strategy to achieve it. The obvious place to find a philosopher of life is in the department philosophy of the local university. When visiting the office of these philosophical departments, we will find philosophers specializing in metaphysics, logic, politics, science, religion, and ethics. We can also find philosophers specializing in the philosophy of sports and philosophy. Study feminism and even philosophy about philosophy to an unusual university, otherwise we wouldn't. It is impossible to find philosophers about life according to my definition. But the story is not always like that. For example, as many ancient Greek and Roman philosophers not only assumed that the philosophy of life is worth pondering, but also the reason philosophy exists is to develop them. These philosophers are also often concerned other areas of philosophy, such as logic, but only because they think pursuing that interest will help them develop one philosophy. Furthermore, these ancient philosophers did not keep their findings for yourself or just share with philosophers. They founded the school and accepts as students anyone who wishes to have it a philosophy of life. Different schools of thought give different advice about what people must do to have a good life. Pretty. Antisthenes, a student of Socrates, founded the school. Cynic philosophical sect, advocating an ascetic lifestyle. Aristippus, another student of Socrates, founder of the Cyrenaic school, again promote a lifestyle of enjoyment. Between these extremes are many other schools, including the Epicurean school skepticism, and of most interest to us here is the school of thought Stoic, founded by Zeno of Citium. Philosophers associated with these schools did not hesitate. Shows interest in philosophies of life. For example, according to Epicurus, the words of a philosopher cannot heal any of your pain. People are empty words. Just like medicine is useless if the body cannot eliminate diseases, philosophy is also useless, cannot eliminate the suffering of the mind. And according to the Stoic philosopher Seneca, whom I will mention many times in this book, every day, a person who learns from a philosopher must reap the rewards, something good in itself. Every time he returns home, he must is a wiser person or is on the path to becoming wise. More philosophical, I will be the bridge that brings you words. Advice from Stoic philosophers 2,000 years ago. Here's the thing which my fellow philosophers are often reluctant to do, but to say it again, they are mainly interested in learning art of philosophy, that is, they specialize in theoretical research or history. On the contrary, I am interested in the practicality of doctrine, Stoic. My goal is to apply this philosophy to my life, yourself, and encourage others to apply it to their lives. Surname. I think the ancient Stoic philosophers would have encouraged both this direction but they will also assert that the main reason to learn about Stoicism is to put it into practice. Another point to understand is that although Stoicism is a philosophy, but it also includes psychological factors. The Stoics realized that a life is full of negative emotions, including anger, anxiety, worry, fear, grief, and jealousy, not a good life. Pretty. Therefore, they become keen observers of activity, movements of the human mind, and as a result become some psychologists the most learned of ancient times. They continue to develop techniques to prevent negative emotions from appearing, and to extinguish them when containment efforts fail. Even the readers don't trust in the deductive method of philosophy should also be of concern to these techniques. After all, who doesn't want to downsize? Amount of negative emotions in everyday life? Even though I have studied philosophy all my adult life, but actually until recently, knowledge, my take on Stoicism remains incredibly poor. Lectures. Undergraduate and graduate students have never asked me to read philosophers Stoic, and although I like to read, I don't have the need asked to read them. Overall, I have no need to contemplate any philosophy of life. Instead, like most people, I feel comfortable with the default philosophy of life, pursuing money, social status, and pleasure. My philosophy of life can be considered a form of enlightened hedonism.